another section in Chapter 8, page 203, that is about school programs for students from low-income families. So I want us to be aware of these. Some of these will affect you, some may not. Some you may have control over, some you may not, but I at least want you to make aware of this. Please, please read through Chapter 8. There's so much good stuff that could have you better prepare when you get at the classroom, your first classroom, especially if it's in one of the Title I schools. And that's where I want to begin with this. Title I is a federal program first passed by Congress in 1965 that provides financial assistance to schools with large numbers of low-income students to help students meet state standards. So we've talked about before in 2010 and I think as well as in 2300, just in Hamlin County alone, 9 of the 11 elementary schools would be considered Title I. They're receiving federal funds to help support low-income students that they serve. The current Title I provisions require the involvement of parents as advisors to school leaders. Now, getting those parents to be involved is an issue, a problem we have already. In the largest school districts, more than half of the students attend schools eligible for Title I funds. More than half of the students. Title I schools that do not meet adequate yearly progress or AYP for 2 consecutive years must offer families the option to transfer their children to another school. So if a school doesn't meet those requirements, a letter comes out. I've received one. Meadowview had a real struggle there for a few years. And we got a letter that said, you know, we didn't meet our AYP. Would you like for your child to go somewhere else? And had we chose to do that, the county or that school would have had to pick up the budget, the cost to transport our child to another school if we chose to do that. We chose not to do that. There's more to meet the eye when you look at the AYP scores. After a school does not meet AYP for 3 years, low-income students must be offered supplement education services, which include free tutoring to students to help them raise their academic achievement. Then after 5 years of not meeting the AYP, the school district must begin planning the restructuring of the school. That's when the state comes in and cleans house. That's why if you are doing all kinds of cool stuff in your classroom and you don't share it so you can shine a little more, well, when the state moves in, because no one else got it and the scores were low for them, the average is what counts. We all sell together, or we all drown together. So it's not worth keeping it in-house in your area. Share the wealth and let others know what you're doing. So after 5 years, the state moves in. They look at the data. They can let teachers go whenever they want. Whoever they want could go for whatever reasons. If you have 5 years and you've not made those gains, then it's the state. Then they decide. So it's shut down and usually started as a magnet school or a charter school, something else, and then lots of money is funneled into the school, and then the students start doing very well. But there's all kinds of technologies and labs and hands-on stuff that the students should have had to begin with, and they might not have gone on the AYP list. Head Start's a federally funded early childhood education program for 3 to 5 year olds from low-income families. It's designed to close the academic gap between that student and then the more advantaged students before kindergarten. We have Head Start in our area. It's actually out in the close to Buffalo Trail area. Teachers work with one of them, at least. Teachers work with social workers, nurses, other health professionals, and directly with parents. Head Start children receive breakfast and lunch daily at school, which is maybe more than what they get at home. Remember, these kids get in there because they qualify for the program. There's a salary amount, and if you're under that, your child qualifies to go to Head Start. Along with working on academic skills, Head Start teachers also teach social skills, play skills, healthy habits, and table manners, because a lot of the clientele that they serve, they would not have access to that type of teaching. So it's really basic, a lot of the basic stuff that they would have missed. So Head Start kind of gives them a leg up. When they start kindergarten, they would have a little bit more under their belt and know what to expect. Free and reduced price lunches. The provision of school lunches to students who live in families with an annual income of 185% or less of the federal poverty level, or $42,643 for a family of 4 in 2012-2013. Now, you might say, gosh, that's a lot, but how much are they paying in rent? How much are they, all the necessity stuff. Most of the schools that serve free or reduced price lunches also serve breakfast through the school breakfast program. So if you get a free or reduced lunch, you can get a free and reduced breakfast. Breakfast contributes to greater attention in school. Research has proved that. It's improved academic achievement and fewer discipline problems, because I'm not frustrated because I'm hungry and there's nothing anybody can do about it. They're getting a good breakfast and at least a good lunch. Now, that may be the only 2 meals they're getting, but they're getting those 2. Nearly half of all elementary and secondary students are eligible for free or reduced price lunches. I don't know if every parent who would be eligible is actually using the program, but that's a huge number. Nearly half of all elementary and secondary students. Wow, that's a large number.